How to fix CS2, pak01. VPK is corrupt error by disabling XMP and resetting RAM frequencies. Welcome back to Tenabalta. Today, we're diving deep into a perplexing issue that has frustrated many Counter-Strike 2 players, the dreaded pak01. VPK is corrupt error. This specific error message indicates that a core game file essential for CS2 operation is damaged or unreadable, often preventing the game from launching or causing crashes. While Steam's file verification typically identifies such issues, this particular error often persists even after multiple verifications and reinstallations, suggesting a more fundamental underlying cause beyond simple file integrity. Our comprehensive guide will illuminate the crucial link between this error and system memory instability, particularly focusing on the role of XMP profiles and RAM frequencies, which are frequently overlooked but critical factors. Accessing your motherboard's UEFI/BIOS interface is the foundational step for troubleshooting memory-related issues. During your computer's startup sequence, you typically need to press keys like DEL, F2, F10, or F12 repeatedly to enter this firmware environment. This gateway allows direct modification of hardware-level settings that govern system stability and component behavior. Once inside the UEFI/BIOS, navigate to the sections related to AI tweaker, overclocking settings, or memory settings to locate your extreme memory profile (XMP) options. Depending on your motherboard and CPU, these may also be labeled as DOCP, Direct Overclock Profile, for AMD systems or A-XMP. These profiles are pre-configured settings that allow your RAM to operate at speeds and timings beyond the standard JEDEC specifications, leveraging manufacturer-validated overclocking. The primary fix for the pak01 VPK is corrupt error often involves disabling the XMP profile. Select the XMP setting and change it from Profile 1, Enabled, or Auto to Disabled. Disabling XMP forces your RAM to revert to its motherboard's default JEDEC speeds and timings, which are often lower but inherently more stable, eliminating potential instability caused by aggressive memory overclocking. After disabling XMP, it is crucial to verify that your RAM frequencies have reverted to their JEDEC default, typically 2133 MHz or 2400 MHz, within the BIOS. If the frequency does not automatically reset, manually adjust it to a stable, lower frequency that your CPU's Integrated Memory Controller (IMC) is guaranteed to support without issue. This ensures a solid baseline for memory operations. Alongside frequency adjustments, ensure your RAM timings are also set to auto or their default JEDEC values. Aggressive manual timings or overly tight subtimings can introduce subtle instability that manifests as file corruption under load. So reverting to standard latencies like CL15, CL16, or CL19 is crucial for preventing errors. Stable timings are as important as stable frequencies for overall system health. Once you have made these critical changes within the UEFI/BIOS, it is imperative to save your settings before exiting. Look for an option like Save and Exit or Exit Saving Changes. Failing to save your modifications will result in the system reverting to its previous configuration, rendering all your troubleshooting efforts ineffective upon the next reboot. Following any hardware configuration changes, always initiate Steam's Verify Integrity of Game Files feature for CS2. This process cross-references your local game files against the official Steam manifests, ensuring that all game assets, including the critical pak01 VPK file, are correctly installed and uncorrupted. Any detected discrepancies will prompt an automatic download and replacement of damaged files. To isolate potential software conflicts, perform a Windows clean boot by disabling all non-Microsoft startup services and applications through the System Configuration Utility, msconfig. This method helps determine if a third-party program, such as an overlay, security software, or background utility, is interfering with CS2 operation or its ability to access and write game files correctly. A corrupted Steam download cache can sometimes lead to issues with game file integrity and updates. Navigate to Steam Settings Downloads and select Clear Download Cache. This action flushes all cached installer data, forcing Steam to re-download necessary components cleanly, which can resolve persistent pak01.vpk corruption even after multiple reinstallations. For a definitive diagnosis of your RAM's health, download and create a bootable USB drive for memtest86, then run a comprehensive memory diagnostic. This industry-standard tool thoroughly tests your RAM for latent errors, bad sectors, or intermittent failures that may not immediately crash your system, but could silently corrupt data, leading to errors like pak01.vpk corruption under game load. Physically reseating your RAM modules can resolve intermittent connectivity issues, often caused by dust accumulation or minor shifts in the DIMM slot. Power down your PC, disconnect it from power, and carefully remove, then firmly reinsert each RAM stick into its designated DIMM slot, ensuring the clips snap securely into place on both ends. This simple step can restore stable contact. If you utilize multiple RAM sticks, try running CS2 with only one module installed at a time in the primary DIMM slot. Consult your motherboard manual for the correct slot. This methodical approach helps identify if a specific RAM stick is faulty, allowing you to isolate and replace the problematic module if testing reveals instability with one particular stick. Experiment with placing your existing RAM modules into different DIMM slots on your motherboard. A faulty DIMM slot or an issue with a particular memory channel on the motherboard can lead to memory errors, even if the RAM sticks themselves are perfectly functional. Swapping slots can circumvent a localized hardware problem. Ensure your motherboard's chipset drivers are fully up to date by downloading the latest versions directly from your motherboard manufacturer's website. Chipset drivers manage crucial motherboard components, including the integrated memory controller, IMC, on modern CPUs, which is vital for stable and efficient communication with your RAM. Outdated drivers can introduce instability. While seemingly unrelated to file corruption, installing the latest stable graphics drivers for your GPU from NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel is always a recommended troubleshooting step. Outdated or corrupted display drivers can introduce system-wide instability or resource conflicts that might indirectly impact game file integrity or cause memory access errors. Open an elevated command prompt and execute sfc/scanno to run the system file checker, which scans for and repairs corrupted Windows system files. Follow this with dism/online/cleanupimage/restore health to fix issues with the Windows Component Store, ensuring a healthy operating system environment that is less prone to file corruption errors. Utilize reliable tools like Crystal Disk Info to monitor the smart, self-monitoring, analysis, and reporting technology. Status of your game drive. A failing SSD or HDD, indicated by warning signs in its smart data, can cause file corruption as it struggles to read or write data reliably, making it impossible for CS2 to load necessary assets. If all other solutions fail, perform a complete and thorough reinstallation of CS2. This involves not just uninstalling through Steam, but also manually navigating to your Steam app's common folder and deleting any residual CS2 directories. A clean slate ensures that no corrupted legacy files interfere with the new installation. Based on the observation that the game runs fine on one Steam account, but not another on the same PC, consider testing CS2 on a completely different Windows user profile. This approach helps rule out user-specific configuration files, registry settings, or profile corruption as the root cause of the pak01.vpk error, offering further diagnostic clarity. Don't forget to follow Tenabalta for more in-depth technical guides and solutions.